I'm marching because I think science is an essential part of policy making in this country.
I believe that this administration is taking the environment seriously. They're trying to undo everything that's been done in the past to make our environment healthy for us. And I'm here today to let people know that I stand by the environment and by the scientists.
I'm Jackie Boomer. I'm a leadership scientist with the Nature Conservancy out of the Maryland, DC chapter.
And I'm Deborah Landau, and I'm the ecologist for the chapter.
And I'm here to march for science because science is really important for protecting our resources, protecting our water supplies, and planning for future population growth.
Yep. The Nature Conservancy has around 600 scientists around the nation, around the world. We're a science-based organization, and we're here so excited to have so many people here speaking for science and speaking for nature.
I'm a public health researcher trained in psychology, and I care about survival. Survival is the essential basis of health, and my goal is to keep people alive long enough to get cancer and heart disease and all the things that you and I are going to die of. And my goal is to give despondent and impulsive people another chance to find meaning in their lives. In the past 2 decades, ever since Congress rescinded the tiny portion of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention budget that was allocated towards firearms research, CDC has not funded research on firearms. It bears repeating, the premier public health agency in the country does not fund research on firearms, even when directed to do so by former President Barack Obama. CDC did not undertake or fund research on firearms.
The organizations I'm talking about are the National Science Foundation, the National Institute of Health, and STEM diversity organizations like SOCNUS. I met my African-American PhD advisor at a SOCNUS conference. Google SOCNUS, SACNAS, if you don't know SOCNUS. It's an women organization, and there are over 20 SOCNistas, as we like to refer to ourselves, speaking at marches around the country today. And my last thing, we need to vote in every election. We need to...
Go. Okay. The administration removed the stream protection rule, which was there to reduce environmental damage from coal mining. In fact, they have rolled back scores and scores of environmental protections. Like one, they are trying to cut back on a protection that protects migratory birds. Why go after the migratory birds? They have shrunk the size... What?
20 seconds.
20 seconds. They've shrunk the size of Bears Ear National Park. Trump signed an executive order restricting immigrants, including preeminent scientists, from entering this country. Trump's administration and government has ended the National Commission on Forensic Science. They've cut millions of dollars of funding for sex education programs. They've prevented EPA staff members from going to climate change conferences. They've never staff not being told to use phrases like climate change, emissions reduction, or the Paris Agreement. And finally, he left the Paris Agreement. This is how bad it's gotten. So thank you for coming out here today. Thank you for fighting for science. We need to do it more.
Huddled around one lab table, worried to speak up, as the 8 guys sit across 3 tables dominating the class. I see my classmates who are passionate about STEM dropping their history and English classes because that is the only way to show their true interest in all things STEM.
As an Iranian American, I see the lack of representation in STEM field. The number of role models for minorities and women are far too few, which is detrimental to them today. Maryam Mirzakhani, the first woman to win the Fields Medal, the highest award in mathematics, is the first female Iranian role model I've had in my 16 years of interest.
Science not silence! Science not silence! Science not silence!
The March for Science 2018 was not only an event that brought together hundreds of scientists and political activists around the United States, but it also worked to send a very important message. We will not tolerate any policies not based on evidence. We will not tolerate any disregard for climate change. We will not tolerate the cutting of funds to organizations such as the CDC or the EPA. This event demonstrated what can happen when a culture is so heavily influenced by STEM subjects, and this was shown by Dr. Corey Welsh and Dr. Jana Hirsch, who spoke at the event. Our education system praises evidence-based thinking and the importance of factual information, and not funding for gun research or preventing minorities from progressing in the STEM field compromises what we have been taught our entire lives. I was lucky enough to not only be a part of this event, but also to hold the sign and lead the march of thousands of people. My photo was even featured in the Washington Post. Nonetheless, the March for Science was a political event I will never forget.